Happy New Year! It's 2026, we made it! We're another year older, and that means one thing. We have another year of dedicating ourselves to becoming the best possible version we can be. I want to introduce you to a new series that I'm kicking off called Project Self-Investment. This is a reimagined way of essentially doing my New Year's resolutions. When I say reimagined, it's not revolutionary. It's just implementing successful project management tools into my New Year's resolutions and my goals for 2026. This essentially means just putting in structured principles so that I know that I'm going to stay on track all of the year. Now, let me preface, don't get me wrong, I don't think anyone needs a new year or to start on a Monday in order to start enhancing and improving and working towards their goals. However, I do recognise that the new year gives a really good opportunity for us to sort of draw a line in the sand, especially mentally, and have a clean-cut way to be like, yes, right now, this year, I'm going to commit to X, Y, and Z. So, what is this reimagined solution? Project Self-Investment is just my 2026 goals wrapped up into a project tracker with milestones and KPIs to measure success. As a corporate finance girly, what better way to utilise my project management skills on my greatest asset, myself. Essentially what this is going to document is weekly check-ins, progress updates, and the actual materials that I am using, and I will show you for how I'm going to be measuring all of this. So let's get into it. Project Self-Investment is my commitment to myself to build a healthier, stronger, smarter, and ultimately more rounded version of myself. In order to achieve this, because it's quite vague, I have to break it down into high-level goals and more actionable steps, essentially taking big pie, making smaller slices, and then bite-sized chunks. In order to achieve this, I have to break it down and genuinely ask myself, what does a healthier and more rounded me look like? The answer that I came up with is splitting my overall goal into 4 foundational pillars. This is split as follows: physical, mental, career, and financial. Let's go through this one by one. Physical. For those that follow me, you will know that I am a powerlifter and a competitive powerlifter. And for those of you that don't, well, now you know. In 2026, I'm going to be continuing my powerlifting journey, and I have a lot of big numbers that I want to be hitting for the squat, bench and deadlift, but also competitions that I want to be targeting and qualifying for towards the end of this year. I will of course continue to post my powerlifting training and lifts alongside this series, and in episode 2 I'll be going into a lot more detail about sort of the physical pillar and everything I have, or starting with and going to go into. Alongside my powerlifting goals, I do have more sort of body image, body conscious areas that I want to improve on as well. These are things such as feeling more confident in my body, and this is everything from like my heart health to my skin. So a lot of wide-ranging things, but of course with each of these goals I have KPIs and broken down tasks I can do on a daily basis. That means that I'm going to be able to measure it and keep ticking along every single day. Next up, mental. I would say that the mental pillar has the most development that I want to see this year. It's probably also the one that scares me the most. As you can see, I've written down that this starts with learning and development, and one of the areas that I want to improve here is my general reading capability. In 2024 I had a goal to read 8 books, which I accomplished. I then increased this to 10 in 2025, but I didn't reach this. So I'm going to carry that forward into 26 and ensure that I'm hitting not only the fiction and non-fiction, but I'm really targeting the classic books so that I've kind of got that culture behind me, but also the different topics within the non-fiction genre to help give me that general level of smarts that I'm aiming for as part of my smarter goal. I know that 10 books in a year may not seem like a lot to some people, but I'm a busy gal, and I have a lot going on, as you can probably start to put together with just this project. And I think that 10 is still a reasonable number to be able to get a lot of information in on top of everything else that I have going on. Secondly, with mental, and probably the scariest part of it, is the wellness and stress management objective side of this. There is a lot more for me to explain with this, and I definitely want to have more of a whole episode dedicated to this. But just to give a little bit of context, last year I suffered quite a lot of burnout throughout the year. It kind of came in waves, as it typically does, and around every 4 months or so I was really, really struggling with the experience, with the symptoms and experience of burnout. So it's something that I want to take forward into this year and really start working on, to not only recognise but actually put steps in place to mitigate. I have a big action plan around this, but it is definitely the scariest because, you know, I'm sort of facing my own demons, I'm facing my own downfalls. So I've got to really kind of buck up and be brave for this one. But you don't grow if you're comfortable. So I want to become better, and this is one of the big ways to do that. So, pillar 3, career. This one may actually be the pillar that I speak the least about, or show you guys the least of, purely because I'm not able to talk about the work that I do or show you, you know, where I work and what I do for work. But my 2026 career goals revolve around improving my performance, which is both, you know, my actual performance for year-end reviews, but also the perceived performance that other people have of me. So that's things like trust and people's sort of understanding of the capability that I have. It's also things like climbing the career ladder. And before any of you start coming at me like, oh, why are you not more entrepreneurial, starting your own business and being some sort of like influencer like that, you know, that I'm a slave to the corporate machine, all I'm going to say to that is I really enjoy my job. It is stressful as hell and really, really demanding, but I'm good at it. And it also provides a lot of stability for me, which, you know, leading quite nicely into my financial pillar, is something that I really value at the moment. Maybe that changes in the future, but the stability is really, really great. Yeah, so bringing me nicely onto the financial pillar, and my fourth but by no means least pillar. I don't have like a specific number for income for finance. It's more that I want to have that stability, as I mentioned, but the not having the stress around finances. You can see that I wrote freedom within the pillar. Financial freedom is a long way away. I mean, let's be real. It's 2026, sorry. The economy is shocking. I'm also a mid-20s girl, so you know, it's financial freedom can come later. Right now I'm just going to try and build some stability. But no, the biggest goal here for me in financial is that 2026 I really want to make the year that I buy my house and I become I step onto the property ladder, if you will. I have done a lot of setup in 2025 for this, and I really hope that this is the year that I can make it happen. Obviously, there are a lot of things out of my control that I just, you know, can't even factor in, but what I can control and what I am able to monitor, I will be, and that is part of my plan. I know that I'm already in a privileged position by just being able to think about buying a house this year, but I have done a lot of work in order to get to this point. So I'm glad that I can bring you on that sort of end part of my journey for my financial pillar. With that covers the 4-pillar plan for Project Self-Investment. As I mentioned at the start, I will be delivering weekly outputs, whether that's a short video, long video, or even just a social media post. But they'll include the regular check-ins, they'll include progress updates, and the actual project tools that I'm using. The first episode will be coming soon. As I mentioned, it is going to be discussing more of the physical pillar and starting to introduce you to the project plan that I have. But for now, I hope this has served as a good introduction to my plan and the project for the year. And maybe there's a few things that you can take from this and put into your own goals and resolutions for 2026. If you do have any questions, let me know. I'd be more than happy to try and answer them if I can, or help you get started. But right now, it's January 1st. I'm going to have a bit of a reset day and get my externals, the house, myself, back to normal and ready for a really successful kickoff for 2026. So stick around with me to become a healthier, stronger, more well-rounded person, and don't forget to subscribe and click that notification button so you're not missing a single episode. If you'd like, check out my other social media on Instagram and TikTok, both under Misfit Charlie, and I'll see you for the next episode. I wish you the happiest of New Year's, and let's make 2026 our better year. Signing off.